The newly elected president of a group of the country's top managers believes in the necessity to embrace relevant leadership in business and government towards a progressive future. Joining us now is Rene Almendras of the Management Association of the Philippines. Thank you so much for joining us, Rene. What are your top priorities in your next 365 days as president of MAP?
Well, we've identified 5 major initiatives, really. One is member engagement. We do have a lot of members. We do have a lot of talent, actually, in the group. Wisdom, experience is very prevalent. So we wanted to make sure that all these are channeled properly. So member engagement is one. On top of the non-member related issues is really country competitiveness. MAP and its members are worried about our ability to compete with our neighbors and the rest of the world. We believe that there should be attention given to so many things to enhance our competitiveness.
Yes.
Second is we said, we need to be a bit more focused on the challenges, so ESG and shared prosperity. We know that the divide has widened. A lot of our fellow Filipinos are not as well off as they used to be. So we're saying something has to happen on that.
And what about the third, fourth, and fifth? I want to focus on the country competitiveness.
Okay, third is the third one is ESG.
Okay.
I mean, the third one is IT, innovation,
Okay.
and digitization. We worry about
artificial intelligence.
Yes, we worry about that. And the fourth one is investing into the young Filipino who's going to be the workforce of the future. Actually, everything goes back to number 2, which is competitiveness. Everything goes back to job generation today and in the future, making sure the economy will grow.
But of course, connected and engaged with country competitiveness is, of course, a few of MAP's top business concerns in 2024, and that is corruption, which is on top of your list.
Yes, actually, I'd like to mention the second one, which equally is of equal importance. The rest of the top 7, the top 2, which is very close to each other, is corruption and ease of doing business. And I think those 2 will have a direct impact on country competitiveness. It is very important that we show not just the world, but actually even our local businessmen. So it's not about us trying to attract foreigners to invest in the Philippines. It's also about us trying to make sure that local businessmen will continue to reinvest and grow their businesses to job generate.
But, corruption, Rene, has been a decades-old problem. How is this being addressed by the Marcos administration? And is he doing anything about it?
Well, ARTA is there. We're very supportive of ARTA. The new Secretary, Frederick Go, has made some announcements regarding that initiative. So, and we do support that. We think that those initiatives are important.
But is the political will there?
That's a very hard question because we're not politicians. All we're saying is we need to face up to the fact that if we want our country's economy to grow faster and bigger at the pace of the rest of the world, we need to address some issues. And one of them is corruption and ease of doing business.
That's right. That's on top of the list, yes. Especially a lot among many foreign investors. I mean, we've seen the president traveling to more than 15 countries in 18 months in office, and he has basically accumulated tens of billions in dollars in pledges. But a lot of the question marks from foreign investors is the ease of doing business. You also have transparency and good governance.
Good governance, yes. Sorry, I need to bring it to the local side because we have more Filipino members than foreigners. The survey we conducted was predominantly Filipinos. Okay, we are not a foreign chamber. We are a local management association. We conducted an annual survey, and the survey said that even the local businessmen
are also facing the same problems.
Are very much concerned on ease of doing business and the corruption issues. So, in answer to your question, has there been things done? We believe yes, but obviously we all need to work together to solve these problems.
And of course, to improve the economic environment, right? To attract more investors, whether it be local or international, should there really be charter change? Economic provisions in the charter.
Last year, the MAP issued a statement that if there will be a charter change, it is not for us to determine whether there should be or not, but if there will be a charter change, we believe there are only 3 main points that need to be addressed. three main sections to it. As a matter of fact, change in wording is basically, instead of being controlled by Filipinos, it's probably should be controlled by or consistent with the country's international and regional commitments, because we are a signatory, we are a participant to ASEAN and so many other bilateral agreements. There's another section which criminalizes any violation to something like this. We think that's a bit too harsh. Civil cases are filed when there are issues between businesses or economy, but criminalizing such a thing is a bit harsh, which is definitely a deterrent to anyone who wants to go in that direction. Now, as to the intent of charter change, I will just repeat. Our position is that if there will be a charter change, we want to participate, and there are three issues that we think will solve a lot of the problems.
But what about amendments already to the Public Service Act during the Duterte administration, the Foreign Investment Act, and the Retail Liberalization Act, and even opening up the renewable energy sector? Aren't these already sufficient to attract foreign investors?
I think, Rico, there's no one solution to attracting foreign investors. It's almost like there's no one pill that says do this and the investors will line up. It's about a series of events. It's about a whole approach to several things. Economy is complex. Attracting business is complex. So
because our foreign direct investments, Rene, have dropped.
Low.
Are very low, one of the lowest in Southeast Asia, and it even dropped in 2023.
Which is the reason why we're very concerned about that, because at the end of the day, our economy grows only if we generate more jobs. More jobs, higher value jobs create better economic activity, and everyone benefits from it. So if you were asking, all the other four thrusts actually point back to job generation. Investing in the youth. Why? We want to make sure that they are ready for the jobs of the future. We do not want to produce graduates who will not be able to find jobs. Nor do we want a situation where we have businesses that cannot find the people that will fit the job.
And that all circles back to ease of doing business, solving the corruption issue, transparency, and governance. And it's about trusting our public officials.
Yes. I would like to compliment the Marcos administration for having appointed some very competent and talented individuals to the major issues. Secretary Recto, as Secretary of Finance, we are very supportive of him. We believe his experience in being a legislator will help him in his interaction with the legislator.
And he just announced no new taxes for 2024.
Yes, that's very good news. But the issue there really is that, the Secretary of Finance is the CFO. I'm sorry, I'll talk in the business context. It's the CFO of a company, right?
And he holds the purse strings.
And the CFO balances resources, makes sure that he does that. But like most CFOs and CEOs, they have a board of directors to contend with. And in the case of the Philippine government, the board of directors is the legislature, Congress and Senate.
And who are now at loggerheads over charter change.
So I believe Secretary...
If you're clashing, the board of directors are clashing, which direction are we going to take?
That normally happens in a boardroom, by the way. And CEOs need to read through that. At the end of the day, at the end of the board meeting, you need a final decision.
But of course, when all is said and done, the chief executive has to make the final decision. He has to have the final word.
Has to execute what the governance wants. No, but I go back to Secretary Recto. I think the fact that he was a legislator gives him the view and the relationships and the understanding on how to deal with the Congress and Senate, which is very important for the Secretary of Finance to be doing at this time. It's just critical. Fiscal policy reviews and reforms. I'm sure that's being discussed by the Finance Department. All
right. We are facing a lot of headwinds in 2024. What are the positives, apart from Finance Secretary Ralph
I think the
Rex's
positives
appointment?
is we're beginning to see stability in a global situation of sorts. Inflation is finally coming down. We wish inflation goes down further. Inflationary pressure on businesses is about compensation. So if you're able to handle inflation, it addresses issues of higher cost. But more than that, it also improves the quality of life of the people that we need to employ, that we need to give jobs to. Second, margins will improve, which a lot of businesses are facing challenges right now. When price of everything goes up, there is elasticity on your product. What if I cannot raise the price of my service or my product? Then I'm going to get squeezed in the middle. So I think that's the good news. Second, there's a lot of stability and going into the end of 2023. Despite the headwinds of inflation, you still had a lot of stability coming in. I think that to us is good news. I hope and we hope though that the stability continues. I will quote a former colleague, Secretary Balisacan, who said it's very important to keep things stable because this is not the time to sort of rock the boat or shake the tree, because this 2024 should be a very good year for us to bounce into momentum better than what we've been through. Post-pandemic, this is the growth years we have been waiting for.
Well, let's hope that the Chief Executive, the CFO, and the Board of Directors will be able to work together for the best for our kababayans. Thank you so much for joining us on The Final Word. MAP's new president, Rene Almendras. All the best in 2024.
Thank you very much.